Today I'd like to share a message from Mark chapter 6, verse 45 and 46. Let me just start reading at 41. And when he had taken the 5 loaves and the 2 fish, he looked up to heaven, blessed and broke the loaves, and gave them to his disciples to get before them. And the 2 fish he divided among them all. So they all ate and were filled. And they took up 12 baskets full of fragments and of the fish. Now those who had eaten the loaves were about 5,000 men. 45. Immediately he made his disciples get into the boat and go before him to the other side, to Bethsaida, while he sent the multitude away. 46. And when he had sent them away, he departed to the mountain to pray. Now when evening came, the boat was in the middle of the sea, and he was alone on the land. Then he saw them straining at rowing, for the wind was against them. Now about the 4th watch of the night he came to them walking on the sea, and would have passed them by. And when they saw him walking on the sea, they supposed it was a ghost, and cried out, for they all saw him and were troubled. But immediately he talked with them and said to them, Be of good cheer, it is I, do not be afraid. Then he went up into the boat to them, and the wind ceased, and they were greatly amazed in themselves beyond measure, and marveled, for they had not understood about the loaves, because the heart was hardened. In this passage, I mainly want to focus on verse 45 and 46. Immediately he made his disciples get into the boat, go before him to the other side, to Bethsaida, while he sent the multitude away. And when he had sent them away, he departed to the mountain to pray. For me, it's just amazing. He's just been feeding a crowd of maybe 20,000. It says here 5,000 men, so children, females, so maybe about 20,000 people. He's been feeding them with bread and fish. So there's a huge crowd. And what does he do in verse 45? Immediately he made his disciples get into the boat, go before him to the other side, to Bethsaida, while he sent the multitude away. Now, that is for me just astonishing. Just imagine having a big crusade, and there are about 20,000 people, and suddenly the person who's speaking there decides uh, to dismiss the crowd. That is just incredible. Among amazing ministry, Jesus decides to let them go, tell them to go home, because it's not dark yet, so he's telling them to go home. And what does he do? He goes to pray. 46. And when he had sent them away, he departed to the mountain to pray. So it was most likely before dark he started praying. So most likely the reason he sent the crowd away was because he needed to spend time with the Father. He wanted to hear his voice, he needed his guidance, and he needed the refreshing. It's just amazing how many people in the ministry today will send the crowd away, say, "Oh, I need to pray. Sorry, bye, I'm going." Just amazing. In the middle of this ministry, he just sends the people away. Wow, that is just dedication. Knowing that without God the Father, without having this relationship with God, there is no power. There is no ability to be a good Christian or a good example. So I'm just so much blessed how Jesus sends away this big crowd of 20,000 people just to spend time with God the Father. And it looks like it's quite a long time because he's sending them away before it's dark. Maybe it gets dark there about 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. Until it says here in verse 48, then he saw them straining and rowing, for the wind was against them. Now about the 4th watch, which is about between 3 a.m. and 6 a.m. We're not sure if it goes in the beginning of the 4th watch or at the end of the night. He came to them. So around 3 a.m., Jesus went to the disciples on the water. That means that, say, from about 6 o'clock, 6 p.m., till maybe about 2 a.m., he has been praying and talking with the Father. That is just amazing, astonishing. So, the lesson I have for today is we can never be too busy. We see that Jesus, in the middle of his ministry, sends away a crowd of 20,000 people. He didn't say, I was too busy, I'm too tired. No, he sends them away and spends time with the Father, which is just amazing. Today in society, we very quickly say, oh, we're too busy, we're too tired. That's not an excuse. Jesus had exactly the same issues. He was busy. He had this crowd of 20,000 people. Isn't that amazing? In the middle of that crowd, he just sends them away and says, bye bye. I need to spend time with the Father. He most likely was very tired. He's been spending a whole day with this crowd. But instead, he went to pray. He prayed from maybe 6 p.m. to maybe 2 a.m. We're not sure the exact time, but at least 3 a.m. That's an amazing, astonishing amount of prayer. And we see that Jesus makes it a priority to spend time with the Father. And if we follow Jesus' example, we need to make prayer a priority. And we can't use excuses like being too busy or being too tired. That's not going to work. We need to make it part of our lives. We should make it a priority to hear the voice of the Father. Because out of that, we can be an enormous witness for the kingdom of God. I hope this message blessed you, and thanks for listening. God bless you. Bye.